As a product manager, you don't exist in a vacuum. I mean, unless you are already a startup, you are part of the staff that work in an organization. The organization is making money from products and services, or the organization is running money through investor fund, but basically you are part of the nuts and bolts that hold the organization. So that is within the organization. So externally, you have the customer you're going to sell products to, you have the regulators, you have Nigerians, you have Americans, you have all sorts. So you have these so many people to please. You have these so many idols to worship just to get your work, just to make the market. Because we are not an island. Every one of us is connected to each other in some specific way. And the product you bring to the market will affect everyone in a different way. So somebody comes around and says, okay, if any of us listen to the news, you hear about maybe sometimes you create a product that needs very dangerous chemicals, people pour chemicals in the house. You guys have heard about that before. Nice products, look at asbestos. Then asbestos is powerful. At one side, it will break over. But guess what? The effect of that product on people, some people start having cancer, people start dying from the product. And that's the reason why you need to understand that as a product manager, you know the chemicals. Product is beyond their gate. I know that it's interesting to think of a nice product and take it to the market. Before we talk about the stakeholders, when we see the impact of our products, then it gives us the reasons why some stakeholders behave the way they behave. Yes, they are great stakeholders, they are nasty stakeholders, but they are also recent stakeholders that we need to understand to know the reason why they behave the way they do. So everything is connected. Every single product you are bringing to the market is connected. So sometimes people will tell I was working with someone who they were working on the product, and then when you want to do transfers, right, without logging in, maybe you want to set something on the computer, I can't remember and it's validate. So it's a very useful use case, right? When you're building kind of interface for the transactions online. Then somebody asks a question. Oh, so it means that I can get all that these random account number and start using that to just pay them. So imagine that we didn't think about that, okay? And then we take it out, and then somebody says, no, this product can't go out, it's too dangerous, my mom and stuff like that. Then you get that. But that product has impact. Same way, when you use true colors, for example, you search for somebody's name, you see him, but you can't add him unless it goes to you. Ask yourself, oh, I have people for me, why don't you just add to my stuff? Privacy issues, regulatory issues, and the rest of it. So the connections and all the people I know are stakeholders. So when we talk of stakeholders, we have different types. We have usually those internal stakeholders and external stakeholders. Internal stakeholders are stakeholders that are within the organization. You guys get paid by the same set of people. Right? Those are the internal stakeholders. So you are looking at your colleagues, your colleagues in the office. You are looking at your executives. You are looking at your detecting, where everybody shall be detecting. So you are looking at your admin and finance people. I'm not like that. Then you want to get it. I just say it's another. Then you have your risk guys who you try to explain things. Okay, this when you talk of this risk and legal, I know for both of us start off, we may not understand, but if we work in a organization where those guys really are ready to just make your life very miserable. Then external factors, you have things like the vendors, you have the regulators and government, you have the competition, they are also your stakeholders, because sometimes you can snap yourself in their hands and they will keep you grateful. Then you have your customers, and then you also have partners as well. People who are set out to damage your product, damage you, damage everything. Now, why are they stakeholders? Because what you do impact their life in some way, and how they react will impact the life of the product and ultimately your life. I know that stakeholders are missing out here that because I'm only talking from my own perspective. It's possible that other stakeholders that people face every day. Scammers, right? Okay. The regulators, yeah. Other stakeholders that you deal with every day. Cashier and local you go to one of the stakeholders. So when you talk of stakeholder management, Right? In formal terms, we say is the process of integrating and influencing both the internal and external environment, like creating positive relationships with stakeholders through the appropriate management of their expectations and agreed objectives. That's the formal definition, right? But the real life definition is stakeholder management is how do you survive so that stakeholders can live beyond Christmas. Because in reality, when you are dealing with these stakeholders, unless you're a new product manager, right? Every time you need to bring a product to market, especially when you get to at the beginning when you're seeking approval to start, and the end when you're looking for it to go like your blood pressure is very high. You are chasing everybody. Someone is helping you talk to someone who is begging someone, you are begging someone who is like, no, down just as you're going with just don't think you it. And right? That is real stakeholder management. And for people like me that work in one or two places, it's been defining for the kind of. To be very frank with you, I learned more about my products through the things I have to go through to survive my stakeholders than from the product itself. So I will, for example, I know a lot about risk management. And the risk management I learned, that was from UDA. Those guys, for the UDA, you have to set up demons sort of to deal with. You have the internal control guys, right? Technology control, and then you have the IT risk. Okay, IT control and risk management. Those two guys, they are actually asking, they are supposed to be doing almost the same thing, but the demand of different. So for the control guys on the 11th floor, those ones, yeah, for those ones, just meet with existing rules. This thing is done properly, that is done properly, in line with the existing rules, right? And the guys that IT risk on the 17th floor, those ones you have to deal with things they don't even know. Something like, what if your mom calls tomorrow morning? Yeah, she called yesterday, if I call tomorrow morning, and you are talking about and for the good thing is that because I listen to them, because I have to find a way to survive them, I pick up a lot of skills from them. I learned quite a lot because I was very adaptive. In the end, I figured myself out. At first, I used to bang my head on the wall just to get things done. But after I figured out, look, this guy, if you break your head, you just tell the thing to more people. I just settle myself. I started asking myself, what is this guy doing? I started trying to understand where they're coming from. Now, somebody also says a stakeholder is what? Anyone who is looking for results. Right? The result, people are looking for results that people are working with. Those are the guys, we call them the drivers, probably you. And anyone who will do the work. Because someone was saying we gave technology guys, they gave you 6 weeks, right? Usually they gave you 6 weeks, and in 12 weeks, you have not even seen 10% of the job. Oh, that's normal. So for people that are product managers, they know how to, when you just start product management, you start with a lot of enthusiasm. They are very positive. So when technology tells you, oh, 2 weeks, you go back to your MD or your director and say, 4 weeks. And now we scream as soon as say, oh, that calm down. Then you go back to that guy and tell him the end stage. Then the guy now finishes in 3 weeks, and then you have over to be married, promise 4 weeks, and then class. And then you have the people can help you succeed. So, as a stakeholder, one of the things you need to know upfront that you can't be by yourself. You need skills, you need support. You need people who advocate for you when you're not there. Because unless you're experienced, like if you're experienced, you won't be anything. You're doing more important things. Unless you're experienced, then you have to find someone who can help you. And those will be your supporters. And one of the things you know as a stakeholder, no matter how difficult or hard eating you want to be, I've been through all the places, you need people that can speak for you when you're not. So it means that you need a lot of supporters. And then you have people who are interested in your product, like your observers. And these observers, these are the people that you ultimately may want to come back to help you if you have the influence to help us. Yeah, you just chill. I say, let's see this guy was you better do well because sometimes those observers will have more impact in your life when you're done than even if you are working. Because they're the one that will now call you, the external observer and say, okay, I have a job. They're the one that deliver this thing for this company and that company. What if I do the same thing for my own company and then they give you times two sometimes directly, you know? And then you have those who don't want to control those people like, no, it's not funny, but that's true. See, you just got into a new company or they just moved you from maybe marketing and say you want to product and that. Even the man that wants to screw you up might be in your product development team. Like, who are you? Like, really? Why are you feeling like this? Then you tell somebody that guy doesn't know what he's doing, that's product this risk. You may be actual risk. He won't tell you, but he will tell the man that will screw you up. Because it's a reality. So you also need to know those people and know how to manage them. It could be some of them may actually just pally them up. Some of them may actually just pally them. So when you talk about the product, now all is about because products have two different life cycles, right? It's almost like building a house as well. When you want to build a house, you have to come up with a design, you have to evaluate the cost, you have to get approvals to build from government. You have to get your contractors, you have to do some money to pay them, you have to do your finishing, and then you have to do some like who are vehicles, guys, people that you know, they are just dance till your neighbors tell you that you're going to do. So when it's the same thing with products, because and we have different stakeholders around that. So let's start, for example, design. Let's imagine I'm going to take it for granted that maybe let's say all of us say we are in the technical, technology and financial space. So let me use that as my base for describing what I'm offering. So, for example, you have a fancy product, and let's say you want to do a care product, right? Before you even pick up approval, you probably have to do exams. So you have to find who's going to do your mock-up, you and mock-up for you. Because when you are taking to your seniors to approve, half of the time it's visual thing that the thousand so pictures are very noisy and stuff, right? You need someone to design that. Now, at the end of the day, I found a designer that is trying to almost, they are struggling with him to even design a product because he thinks they have more ideas than he does. I don't really have to do about okay, that's the you have to manage. You shall, unless you are very, very senior, which if you are very senior, then you have to go and still like that. Then you have to carry if you know to make it next, you go ahead and show. And then after that, you have to figure out what it costs. Because by the time you are looking for, if you're a startup looking for investor, if you work in a company, you are looking for you must have done your maths. How much is going to cost to build this product? What are going to get in return? Is it going to be financial? Is it going to involve leverage in the market? Is it going to defend our position in the market? Now, you have to do all those things. And sometimes you need friends who can help you on somebody somewhere, who knows somebody somewhere, who will get the number that somebody gets to give some. If you don't know those stakeholders, you are not going anywhere because the first thing when you bring this like fancy product for a reasonable is what's going to cost? What is or what are you going to get out of it? And what will it cost? Then you have to get approvals. Now you know if you're working in a large organization, see small organization, you don't have a problem. You want to if it's like now just tell I want us to do then I start taking and I say okay, that's all. But if you work in a large organization, then you have to go through the approval process. Usually very, very, very painful. Who has ever gone through a paper approval process before? Yeah? You have right, it's very painful. It means that during that period, if you don't line up all the stakeholders that will sign up behind you, your product is not going anywhere. That means that will be very important. That's the story. Yeah. Because by the time you got into that level, you know the father has done 2 months of different iterations of designs of numbers before you want to get that. And then remember, during that period, you put in your life, you have nothing to show. If you don't get that thing done, it is just like all the end of the year, like that you do your appraisal in January, the only thing your supervisor needs to remember is that you didn't do anything for the last 4 months. You see, for if you got your approval, you look like a superstar. So you still want, then you have to get your, how do you build this? Yes, the MD has approved, the board has approved, they committed 20 million to build it, right? And then you have to go and sign the CTO, or the head of development, right? To get it done. I know where went through all that, all this life. You have to validate. If you're not in your form. Forget about the approval. Even if you sign up, those guys don't want to treat nothing unless you can be by yourself. And usually you can't be by yourself. So there is different skills that you need to manage all this. And when it's done, after it's done, the product is ready, you've done pilot. Now let's market the product. If you do not, all those what do you call it, those old men that usually work in Ghana market that you have been used to great that you see them in the corridor, you just give them side eye and just start. Especially waiting for the because in a lot of record, market is always the most expensive part. Very, very expensive. And it can happen for them to do PR, let me do design, quality agencies, and then you now remember the answers you that you always come. Like for example, that's when female pro managers start doing their high heels because you go there and try to outshine them in how they do. If your makeup is too brown, trust me, your pro is not going to. Yeah, that's the yeah. And then you have to do things. So you have to also manage them that way. So that's the reality of pro. And when it comes to challenges of stakeholder management, there are a lot of challenges there. So the first thing you get into, especially when you're a rookie stakeholder manager, is that you don't even know your stakeholders. You just thought that you are getting from your head to the market. Some people feel they can come. How many people write code there? Who writes code? Who are written code? And some people feel they can compile their thoughts and what they write there. Most people come into programming with passion, but without knowing the stakeholders and the processes. So that's where the biggest challenge you face. So you bring out a product, you go and meet the administrator, and then they say, go and talk to the guy. Say, why now? You have to. This is a thing. Stop. And that will be the building there is no formal program development process in the organization. I'm not talking about guide you guys. Sometimes you have unreasonable and difficult stakeholders. Those are the common ones. Or the way people get out there from my own point of view. Usually most of them are actually not contributing. Right? They are not. Because we just don't understand what they're saying. They are at least some of them will go to their office outside, need to see you do something. It's not even looking up to say yes. Yes, okay, drop it. Then you drop last week, but they come back now. And then you talk and it just kind of embarrass you. Some of them are borderline lunatics. They are really like mad. Nobody can control. Then you also have complex stakeholders. These stakeholders don't even know what they want. You know that stakeholders. You go to them. I understand that India. I don't know what is happening. I don't understand. And then you know you can move forward without them. But they are telling you, I don't know how I can do this. Now, the parents of stakeholder management, one of the challenges, the things that on stakeholder management is very simple. The thing is that when we don't even know how to like I said, engineering is very, very good. When engineering is probably just 1% of the program. You cannot care about your products, you are going to have a big problem of. So you go to the CFO, who is going to run through the numbers to see whether there is commitment to use your product, right? And then he asks you, how much what is this product to be for us? And then you're talking about things like we're going to do it in the market, need to get commission, can I use one bill to pay your salary at the end of the month? Now, when you don't have those metrics for your products, you just wasting your time. Then you join the wrong political party. See, you can't, like now, in every office, most office is more than like 30 people. Political parties, you have one side ADC, some you have PDP. You have to move from the party, right? Unless you have registration for them. Because if you join the wrong one, trust me, I can tell you the product. It may come out, but it's not going to be without you being good. I'm being serious. I know people don't like it about it, but there's politics everywhere, right? You can't, once you have three people, right, then the politician is going to. It's only when just two of you that you can't go to yourself. Because when you are three people, you always feel one person like the other one, right? And that's where it starts. Then you have changing stakeholders. Today, this product will tell you to talk these people. Tomorrow, no, it's that people. Now, the challenge is that even the ones who don't know, they talk to manage them. How much more people you don't even know? And then also, the biggest one is not even understanding the impact of that the product will have on everyone. I know this one is difficult for us to swallow this one because a lot of people get product to save the world or cannot kill the world. Yes, the product can kill the world. So, for example, you don't know what if you are a young organization. Some of us are like startups right now, like Mr. Australia out there. Like you are starting a new business. Should I, if you put your money behind a particular product because you think it will work, if it doesn't work, that will mean the end of that. People don't seem to understand that. If your product, like for example, if you're in digital payment and your product is insecure, the risk person is chasing you around, do the right thing, encrypt this, encrypt that, and you don't do it, and you're watching that there's a massive fraud. That's the end. I still yesterday I seen there somewhere we were talking about what happened when I started working with tax. That was this company thing in Nigeria that used to process MasterCard credit in Nigeria. And then the banks have something called standing. Well, some fancy stuff that allows MasterCard to authorize your transaction when you are down. And then banks used to go down that like and their system will have gone out of luck. Transaction will come in. And guess what? One thing of so much fraud, for you the way I was working at the by $1.5 million. Yeah, that was the end of that company. That weekend was the end of that company. And everybody knows. So people don't now just imagine you are the product manager in charge of that what the master process. It means that not doing the right thing and doing not the life of that company. People working there. Some of them have wives, they get them to go alongside you. So imagine who is going to pay all those things. They have kids in school, people are ill, and then one single product just because standing was set up. And you know the funny thing is that it was yesterday the person that was telling me what part was done for the first time. So people thought they should remove the standing. And Mastercard said start to done. In actual fact, what they needed to do was set the standing to zero. That effort, I don't even if the person is so slow, that effort can't take up to 15 seconds. That one that doing that thing 15 seconds, we made the whole company go down the 20 them and die in. So when people, so as a product manager, before you go ahead and manage stakeholders, understand the impact of your. But that's a scary one. Of course, on the other side, people build products that transform everything. Twitter was a side project that someone would push. The main products built, but the project or the side gig worked. So it could be that amazing both ways. If people knew that Twitter would become that big, the way you manage the stakeholders in launching but entirely different. And the do's and don'ts of crypto, you have to think like that's nice everyone. I know that I can be hard eating, like because it will be very surprising. I will be the not person thing and the nice, right? But of course, I suffer for it as well. So you have to be nice to people. If you are not nice to them, you don't know where you're going to go. And as long as you still have a job, you always get to meet them from those. You have to understand your products. You have not only your product, you have to understand your product. One of the things I find extremely difficult for people is they don't have a clear about their product. They don't know the rules and regulations about it. They don't know what government, they don't even know the reason why people do stuff. Let me give you a good example. There was one time somebody said, oh, why can't when you travel abroad, the ATMs abroad will track cash? that it's like everybody in Nigeria is dumb for not doing the same thing. And he or she wanted to treat on the ATM. I started there, I laughed. Does anybody know why it doesn't happen like that in Nigeria? Yeah, if you use your ATM, if you're Nigerian ATM, you take cash in the US or in the UK, you notice that the card will come out first before the cash comes out. But in Nigeria, it's the other way around. Cash comes out before cash comes out. Does anybody know the reason why? Yeah? Do you know the reason why? Okay, I'll tell you. Do you know? It's opposite Nigeria. The question is why? Okay, I'll tell you. So when it started in Nigeria, right, it used to be that way. As your card comes out, and then you take your card. Then once people out that it don't work, if the card comes out, I'll just remove the one you use like this. And then the ATM machine just take everything back and post it. So if I want to take 20K, I'll take 20K. 20K will come out, I'll take like 10 out of it. I will now take my card and scroll. ATM will now retract what is back and put 20K out. Okay, if you don't understand your product, you spend effort to implement that to you. Understand your stakeholders. Everybody is not the same. The stakeholders in this place is different from that one. Even me as a stakeholder, the way I was when I probably work with banking is different from the way I am right now. So if you find me, for example, as a stakeholder that know that, try to manage as a stakeholder, for example, you can't meet me. I need you to show me confidence in your stuff. If you are not confident, I'll try to help you just because of you know what you're doing. And then you probably come back here and say, I'm just you need to understand your stakeholder very well. Some people need to see them in the morning. Early in the morning, you go with palm oil and all these things, you worship them, check your stuff. Some you need to harass them, some you need to shout on them, right? So you need to know what works for each person. And then you also need to be flexible. You won't always get what you want. So you may just say, you know what, we can't just wake up to someone, okay, someone is rushing out to go, maybe you're a new mom, and then the person is rushing home to go and meet maybe the daughter in school or whatever. And then you're trying to force her to do something for you. It's not going to work. Then you have to seek compromise. Are you expecting the IT guy to give you 3 developers? If it's one you can get, I think that one. I'll be managing that guy for time. If not, you end up with nothing and you're going to customer. You also have to do emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is underrated and extremely important because emotional intelligence is what allows us to be able to see what the eyes can't see, know what the need is in the organization. If the organization is going through a crunch time and there's no more cash, that's not the time for you to bring some very fancy esoteric product. Right? It won't be. It means you don't have the facts. And don't be arrogant, right? If you're going to seek other people's help, don't be arrogant to them because even if they want to help you, if you go to them with bad behavior, they probably will not. Also, don't be selfish because product managers, I ask this question right now because product management is the main thing. At one time, project management was the main thing. I spent a lot of my salary to do 2 class in project management. I didn't end a single dime from project management. I didn't. That was cool. Then if you work in some places in that time, you get like £400, £500 per day in the project manager. You don't spend money. Who did get there? And everybody earn anybody from project management. And so seriously, it's better than having energy. Same way, nothing happens. Don't carry rumors. Don't go and take report on stakeholder that is pissing you off to the other one. For all you know, they may have their own passion. So you always not go there and say, oh, like somebody comes to report, say, offer to be now. Say, offer is bad, whatever. Before you say bad, people saying and chatting yourself when you don't finish it for help. Right? And don't be discouraged. Why? Because nothing is ever going to be easy. So it means that you run through your stakeholders management, you just have to find a way to deal with the downside. Everything will never go your way every time. If you always get your way, that makes you God. I think I'm not God, so put your expectation on check. And they just keep doing it. And as you grow in your career, also be nice to the other people coming out. Because it's easy for us to say that managing stakeholders. What about us? You don't project managers and product managers coming. Are we leading them? Are we helping them? Or are we competing with them? Those are the things we should be asking ourselves. So, stakeholder management is it's not a rocket science, but it's also important. So that's where I'm having my own. So me, I may like to get your perspective of how you do your stakeholder management. Thank you. Questions or
good question. How do you kind of they don't hi, my name is Evan. I'm a product leader at Intel. My question is, have you found any effective techniques for keeping up with new stakeholders? Here's what I mean. Depending on the length of your product life cycle and how fast your company moves, there'll be stakeholders that come into the mix after you've already started working. How do you, what kind of things do you have to make sure you're always impressed where these things are?
Thank you. Like I said, one of the parents of the stakeholder management is the fact that stakeholders change a lot. So at one time, maybe at one executive meeting, somebody just say, oh, the product also affects this person. And you won't know. Now, the only way to know is you have to be product management, product management is an active one. You need to be connected to people. So even if it means going around once in a while to just even talk to the people that are they will be the one that will tell you, okay, I think this guy is now also going to be interested in what you do. But if you sit in your little around, you don't talk to anyone, well, because you have the approval, you think you are done, you're going to be in trouble. The only way to know is just to be in the know and constantly talk to the existing stakeholders and ensure that things are not changing around. That's what I would do. I don't know if there's anyone. And for external stakeholders, you need to know about what's happening in the industry. As a new law company, as a new role, the board, you have new regulators, those are pretty important because at the beginning of your project, they will tell you something does not have any standard. And then when it's done and you want to launch it, you say, oh, wow, you need an approval. The standard has changed. What you've done the last 6 months is no longer valid. So you need to be in the know what is happening. And that, I think that helps.
So you talked about internal and external stakeholders. I want to like ask a question about internal stakeholders, especially as looking for, and you find that what you're trying to do it is correct if a decision that was made earlier. And you don't want to make good bad, but to be able to do these things done, to get these things done, you have to sort of go back and flag those bad decisions that were made earlier. How do you find it?
Okay. I think the way to do this is to first separate, don't try to make a decision. Don't try the wrong decision to the other person. Try to be them people that you know what, based on the information that was available to you, this is not any mistake the person will have done. Because you they will be stupid, and most of them are very stupid. But if you tell them they are stupid, they are not ready. So and even the best people make wrong decisions at times because I made wrong all my life, right? So when you come around and you make me feel like I stupid, they are going to be very nasty to you and are coming to you. And the other thing that is to just manage it. And the idea, the more people it is, because managing directors, boards, also make decisions, stupid decisions as well. And managing them can be very tricky because it will make you look like, look, that was the best anybody could do at that time. And anything that changed the date, you can be better off in getting that. You know, if not, you see some people who say, we'll go the road that wrong just because of their ego or something.
My question. The right place for
by passing all together your stakeholders, especially internal ones. You're walking. So there's a concept of road projects, right?
Yeah.
So because at the end, I mean, to be like a smart person, the field just doesn't get it. These guys, they don't understand that this is the new trend, and if you don't do something about it now, like it's just going to be the worst decision ever. And then you try, all the usual ways of getting them to see reason or to see your perspective, but it just doesn't work for whatever reason. So is that a place to say, you know what, to hell with it, I'm just going to go ahead as best as I can without access to all the resources I would typically have had if I'd gone through regular process?
Oh, sure. At least in my career, I've done a lot of road projects. In fact, my career is part of the kind of road project. So in the US, they started with something they call the skunk walk. If you heard that, there's a thing, one of the fastest things they call the dark mode. That plane was built, nobody knew about it, it was down. See, the reality is that if you're a very passionate programmer, you always have, there's something always show up that means that everybody will not see. Because anything that everybody can understand is never going to be that transformation, right? Unless you are a good, you can preach your vision very, very well. So for those things, yes, you can do it, but it comes with risk. When I say do it, it's very simple. The ones you could do are those that won't cost too much. Because if the project is going to cost you developer time, who is the developer going to pay for it, right? If you're going to ask what to rent developers at the site by yourself, right now, if you want to get a good developer to do something for you, you're probably asking like 500,000 a month for a good developer. So you have the money. So for example, when I worked in, I would take this example, I took the two road projects from development. So the first one was GSSC. The one I had, I didn't like it enough. And because I was also hot-headed, I was fighting everybody. And I did it because I was senior, I had to assign someone to me. I didn't put it on the whole thing. And in 2 months, we got something else. So the day we were going to turn over, I didn't tell anyone. But what I did was that all the approvals were subsumed in different approvals. And the day we were going live to new Pinnacle, we just launched it. Then I went to tell my boss. He said, I'm sorry. But because it was fine, I thought the other way, probably won't know me. The other one was, but that didn't cost anything, I only just. But the other one, the internet banking, because I wanted to put it somewhere else, it has gone bad. And I was ashamed of myself. I actually funded the start of that project with no money. Today I didn't get that. Because I couldn't imagine my life, like, forget this no money anymore. Couldn't imagine that my name would be attached to the. And I couldn't only there. Like it wasn't even live when I was leaving, but like when I told my boss, oh, I've done another one, and this is what I know. He was impressed because at least I was trying to save my own face. Now, I'm able to tell these stories because those projects work. They didn't work. If you do a small project and then you expose your attention to losses or to improvement and the rest of it, you will fire summary, right? If you did it and then it came out on that end, then nobody will expect you again. So, will I tell you not to wait? In actual fact, you work with me, I will expect you to have things you are doing by your side. I'm surprised. I said, not everybody likes it. Most people like it, but I like surprise. Surprise them with your job. Show me that you've got something. You've got something in your head, right? But you know it's a risk. If you do it wrongly, that's wrong. If you do it rightly, that's right. There's no middle ground. So yes, there's a room for it. Another part is where the project managers don't have any product they are hiring from GNT testing. That means that place is self-prepared because they are not. There's no great creativity and passion. We never run faster than approval and whatever. So you want to understand, you don't have that is the but don't put me. Okay. So I said as a business manager, which among mentioned that was stakeholders. So saying which among these stakeholders affects the growth of I would say that the internal ones affect the sort of more than external ones. Because what it was, you have to have this over that your enemies they live outside, for the people that are trying to you over, they use, right? No matter how big a tree is, they start with the seed. The seed is internal. If the internal people that compromise or they affect your food, yes, I want to even see. Now, let's say you have the support of the internal ones and your product comes out, and the external ones are giving you just the internal ones will rally around the product and help you survive. If your CFO or your technical people are putting bugs in your product, is it the regulator that will help you? No. In fact, they are going to sanction you. It's your customer, you just do that bug and they will leave. So you beyond anything, your inner stakeholders you have to see them at the end and put them right there. The ones who are bigger than them. Okay, next question.
Hi, sure. So my question is, how do you manage conflicting stakeholders? I'm concerned about the internal one. For example, your CEO maybe a tech project. The CEO is saying, let's do this, let's integrate this, let's call this API, let's get some tools on them. And then the CTO is saying, hold on, this is too much, I can't deliver this. And just maybe head of finance is saying, God, this is going to take too much of our money. So how do you manage this guys and get into a flow?
Okay, so imagine, thank you for asking that question. It's even easier to manage my ethical. You haven't talked to someone. After once you know that is a problem, you can sort it out. Sorting out issues when each person doesn't have a problem with you, but they have one with each other. You can teach that. Because what you described is what goes on everywhere. So even when you guys are cool, go and do this thing. CFO has said, I'm going to give you money to do. The company guy said, you have infrastructure, you have development. Or everybody loves it, but there's no money. The money we have, we don't put it. So welcome to reality. The thing is that we have to make one understand. Yes, understand the person. Don't even try to make them understand. If the CEO is talking about something, find out what the real problem is. Is it that he doesn't want to do it, or there's actually a real challenge? If he doesn't want to do it, then you know that it's one problem. There's a real challenge around. Look how we have developers. What is going to do? He's going to clone these people. No. So you have to do compromise and wait until it's done. Or you can convince him that your own is more important or it's more urgent than you want to do. And you better be serious because if he listens to you and he does it and he doesn't bring money and glory that you promised, you will never listen to you again. You have just one chance. It is so, but the last thing you want to do is don't smash their enemies. You won't like it. Because you may try and then you will not smash. Right? That's number one. Then you now see you as, oh, this person over is trying to set us up, which happens everywhere. Or two, you smash that guy that is, fires the CPO, CFO. The one that comes out and that's maybe they're in jail, they now say something's going down in this person. So that one too will start having issues with you even before you become to actually. You just have to find a way to make them to see the issue. And if they give a good reason why they project it's not what is pushing a product that ultimately there's a lot of arguing against it. People not putting their best to support it. And when the product now fails, you will not be held responsible. But if the product ends up killing the organization, then you must have closed everything. That's my answer. Yeah. Another question? So, guys, thank you.
you. I'm wishing you happy, stakeholder.
Thank you. Okay, thanks guys. For the record, the presentation never came, so I still don't believe that. Yeah.
But I said no, my phone.
Amazing. Okay, so those of you that came late, I missed practically the best part. Who's that person? Okay, so if you notice when you were RSVPing, who didn't RSVP to this event? Oh, I won't send you a rearrangement. But who didn't actually RSVP? So if you did, you will notice that there was a section where you were asked what your biggest challenges or frustrations were as a PM, and then we have quite a number of interesting feedback, right? So what I'm trying to do now is I'm just going to throw all of those questions at a bunch of people, but this is the open house section. We were like at an OAMBE, to be like item number 7. The idea is we're going to seek those questions, but you're in a room with like some of the brightest PM minds. Don't just look at the person beside you. Don't feel like I'm very powerful people. Me out. I came with my CV here, so we're good. The idea is we'll ask the questions, they'll share their perspectives. Again, there's no right answer, really. It's just this is what worked for me. So don't want to say you said slap your stakeholders head and this or that product time. Nothing like that. But if you have any additional comments or questions, just feel free to throw them out. So without further ado, without anything else, I'd like to invite Sarah. Jackie, since you spoke, yeah. Tunde. Okay, I have a bunch of questions, but before we do, I'll just do like a quick, if you don't mind, okay. You guys just do like a 2-minute intro, just who you are, what you do, how you are. It's just so keeps going down. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, hello, gentlemen over there. How do you know you? Are you here? Well, true. What have you just said?
My name is Dr. Adeoye. I used to be product manager once at university. But I had
So fun fact, when my common boss was very annoying. Like, oh yeah.
Yes. Okay, I'm Sarah Eze, product manager in
The head of product management at Needs.
It's annoying everybody.
And one that is all the money from transfer. How do you sleep at night? Okay, yeah, please.
All right. Hi, everyone. So yeah, I'm a team of travel group. It's open.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pedro. I also manage products.
My name is Dami Oyedele. I'm a PM.
Okay.
Amazon.
I know, right? No more power. Yeah. Hey, hi guys, thank you for just being here. So the first, I think some of you need to help us. All these questions were like, wow. But I'll read the PG ones. So somebody had a question on how to effectively manage developers to meet your product expectations. I know we touched on it earlier when Dan was speaking. Rest of again is like other perspective. I'm sure as you know, if anybody that doesn't work with a software company, like a tech company, like you manage hardware products. But anyway, I guess most of us here work with software, and then we have engineers and developers that we have to manage. So the house is curious as to how we can effectively do that. So we don't just get gray hair and fall on and die one day. We don't miss the deadline, and yeah. Yes.
There are three major kinds of developers. There's the one with whom you have to give everything, specify exactly what you want to do. And then there's some that, even before you finish your sentence, they're completing it for you. They know it all. They know how far. And then those that are basically in between, right? Those two. So they can help you typically build on your idea and make it better. Now, a lot of developers, I hope they're not here, have very big egos. They know, it's like, I know it, so I mean, we deal with them on a daily basis. So, and they'll tell you when they can and when they cannot. It's just to rub their heads with, they spoke about emotional intelligence. You have to know the kind of person you're dealing with. If you have to buy pizza, buy it. I mean, if you have 6 months straight, do it. Just as long as you're getting your job done, right? So it really has to do with a lot of emotional intelligence. And then if they feel they're smarter than you, it's okay. Tell them they're smarter than you. You know it now. So tell me, how should we make it happen? Make them, include them in that process so that they feel like they own whatever product it is that you're trying to build. So, you need to share that ownership with them. Otherwise, you just come dump a set of requirements to them. They'll do whatever they want, but if you manage them emotionally and get them to see from your point of view, or even, like I said, rub their heads with this and make them feel like the idea is theirs, then you get some buy from them to deliver your project and deliver it.
What kind of okay, so what you say is correct, right? But the one thing you also have to do on your side, you have to upskill yourself. So what I know is that developers are always, yeah, they have egos and stuff. But if they didn't know that you're smart also, they actually start respecting you. So if you're a product manager, you don't need to become a developer, no, but you need to understand the technology that your business is running. Now, you now need to do it. I know it sounds impossible, but you need to do it better than a developer. Because first and foremost, when you are building features, the features you are building and some of the advantage you have on of those in the market depend on the technologies that are involved. Now, chances are high that these developers may not be very fast in it. And you need to understand their tech stuff because developers always want to scan the fact. The first thing you learn as a developer is how to scan. Right? And then you learn how to write code. So usually when they come out to tell you, okay, someone will take this long, because they feel or they know that you don't know it. Now, that could be nice to them, like I said, but when you couple that with the fact that you are superior to them in terms of knowledge, I tell you that is the more sustainable stuff because I don't know how this developer escape from God's lab. So I still think about them.
If I'm right, this also ties back to one of the questions that asked. Suppose like a product manager, I think this happens in the front where you look at it from the management aspect, you are going to have to manage it. Whether it's finance, whether it's product, whether it's operations, it's actual management. And I go to one of the fathers of management to talk about. There are two types of people that work with you. They are associates and they are technicians. I have to work with some of those, and my company, I know those are the as the associates. I know that people that talk about intelligent roles, the ones that you don't need to talk to. They have a dream of dream that being production. So you have the technicians that bring work, that job work to do. The job is to design product end to end. It's a need to understand every single thing that's in. You need to know when it's being clear, when it's not. Right? You need to know exactly every single feature. And you need to explain those features together. Right? They are like you know that you don't give a regular the box to know that expecting to understand how to do it. It's just a technician. I think the moment you understand that those two are products come in those two varieties, and it's important that you have an associate leader for technician. Right? It makes the workflow from your own side to giving the product all the way down the technician's side.
Can I add something? Sure. So there's a trick that I have seen. All of us in our jobs have blockers. Whether you're a developer, you're a PM, you're somebody making your life hard. The trick that I know that works is that you take the blocker away from the developers. So maybe you're doing the developer like this. They are very difficult people. The developer is there trying to finish his work, but some other counter developer in it is making his life hard. Remove that problem, that developer goes. After a while, it starts to see you as like an account on this test. That way you can then you establish some connection that and you can spread that to one developer, two developers, and then now you have a network of your
Okay, cool. The second big question was how to manage technical debt. So I want to build this new fancy app that will like valorize and make money, right? And I think this is the next best thing. But my engineering team is telling me that look, the last one we built, that is made us mess up our infrastructure design, and we have to go back and fix it. Otherwise, the more right and things and things you're trying to make, one day all the cars come crashing down. But you want your app that will valorize, right? But they are saying we need to step back and fix some things that you can't even see. That after the 6 weeks, like we've basically not done anything. So how do you manage you with your priorities, your deliverables, your stakeholders as a PM versus technical debt, right? Yeah.
I think you should.
I don't know where. I actually know where.
Sorry, I'm not taking it. I'm so sorry to take this one. The question you just
I have a contribution, I have a question. Okay. The contribution, something that works for me, which I learned from project management, is your stakeholders. When you start your stakeholders, yes, not stakeholders, timeline, when you're developing you are wondering, one thing I found that helps, yeah, there's this thing called the goal breakdown structure, where you define all your activities, each individual one, and then assign a timeline. If you go to the developer and it just tells you 3 months, you just walk away. But what exactly is taking 3 months to plan? I'm a very detailed person. So I will sit down with you. The way I work with my developers, when I work with them, we will sit down and I'll be like, okay, tell me this project thing that we want to build, what exactly is involved in building this thing? What are the little things you have to do here? Okay, build this interface, connect this interface to the Apple backend, plug in Apple backend to this one, so on. And then all those little things. So we break every single one down. They explain it to me, help me understand that, okay, you know how we have to use the entire if you call and it's how large it is. So we have to build an API that this section understands, that this section understands. So it now gives me an understanding of the amount of work involved that they have to do in doing activity A, then activity B. So you define all the activities, know how long it will take. Then when you understand the activity, you will know which one can work currently and which one has to finish before the other one can start. Because sometimes when a developer tells you 3 months, they actually being honest. Because something that they need to do at the front end, they cannot do it with some key things that the back can do. So they have to wait. But the other things that work currently, of course, some of them may not like scammers, but still, if you understand the individual activities before, you yourself as a product manager, like my current boss tells me, you're a product manager, and you're also a project manager. So you're responsible for your product and how it is processed. So make sure you understand the individual activity, understand which ones can flow together concurrently and which one has to do before the other one starts. Then you assign the duration that each activity will take. And that will give you the overall timeline. So if you've done that and your overall timeline is saying in 2 weeks, and the developer is saying 1 month, you know that the guy is coming whatever it needs to do to make it work. Okay, so my question now to Diego panelists is this. The thing with buying pizza. In case where the developer now starts to expect it as the norm. That before he knows your job, you have to bring something or we actually had a developer like that, one of the companies I worked at. That he now came to see that you have to buy him ice cream, take him to the beach. And so now you have to bring it home to him and so you actually paid so when we draw the line, because there are some developers outside and they are very high. Personally, I don't think we should be encouraged because people will start to expect it as part of their job that you actually toast them before they do what they are being paid. And it's so painful, especially when together everyone wants to do money. So how do we calm that trend?
Okay, so if I could answer your question, so when you talk about project management, a standard, that's why I talk about product management. I talk about stakeholder management because even stakeholder management itself is also an integral part of project management aspect. So, but they will tell you in product management, project management is sometimes from this. And one of the things you mentioned when you talk about breakdown is how to do breakdown. You also have to do communicate this the project as the project is going on. You have to do checking. For those who do agile, you have to do stand-up meetings every morning and stuff. But agile doesn't work in large organizations because usually the product owners are like so distinct and not in the same division, right? Or with the developers. If there is no organization that do all those agile stuff and fine. Now, when you talk of pizzas and stuff, of course, I'm not doing everything. But let's do a quick like at one time in my life, I used to be a developer, right? And nobody ever bought me. Right? I didn't be brought there. But for me, I like celebrating. Look, if you go to your product house, right? What's the big deal? Because out of every 100 ideas that will show up, probably 10 of them will buy them, and only one will be successful. So that's one project that you are sorting out. Is ask yourself, what do you want to do? Now, don't also throw your pizza out saying, let people that are misbehaving know that you're not happy with them. And the one that have done well know that you're happy with them. Because see, when you talk about developers, I know that I don't like developers, and they all know that I don't like them. But they also live with it. Look at it this way, right? They don't know the beginning and end of the product. You just draw some middle of it and say, hold this one. They are not involved with how much people end. Most of the time, most product managers are actually not confident because they are not even able to articulate their product. I'm expecting that if I was a developer, I can't be anymore. But if there's a time if I was a developer now, if you don't come with me with your proper documentation, I will change that from my office. Come and explain to me what you do. Bring mock-ups, right? Let's run through simulations. Do the flowchart, let's see it. Because there's nothing more difficult and annoying than writing a whole bunch of code and then they say this is not what. So pizza, you know what? Ask yourself where is what is how much is the pizza, how much is the food. That is the end.
All right. So I'm a big fan of the Aaron approach. If you need to report a developer, you should. You should only buy pizza when you see a developer putting the extra effort. Right? If it tells you it's going to do it in 3 weeks and it does it in 3 weeks, right? You may not necessarily need to buy pizza. But if it tells you 3 weeks and you tell him before you can't do it in 2 weeks, and he says, well, I'll try. And he does it in 2 weeks, probably he spends extra hours afterwards doing it. Obviously, you buy pizza, right? So you should not buy pizza or buy whatever it is. You can think you do it. But when you see that extra effort is put into getting it done, you should have done it.
He or she.
He or she.
Interesting. I want to take a stab at the second question, but you want
So I feel like there's an underlying theme for like this question, and you just touched on this one point. I feel like there's the underlying theme is basically there's a us versus them mentality when it comes to developers versus product managers. Where the product managers are really invested in the success of the business, success of the customers. And developers are just focused on being coders or technical testers. And so a lot of the questions I think are coming, or I think what I'm hearing, correct me if I'm wrong, ultimately predicated on the idea that the developers are not invested in the success of the business or the products. That may be your reality. I don't know. But I would say the number one thing you can do in order to not deal with long delivery days or all these other things that are coming up is making the developers feel like they're not just the code, that they're there to solve business problems and customer problems. And if your developers are not doing that, everything else you do, pizza, beer, will not solve that problem. And so they don't understand that they're there to solve a problem for the customer, for the business. They're not right developers.
I like it. Yeah.
I think one of the subsequent forums will have some developers come and share. No, don't worry, I'm seeing them, but they're coming on that. We'll have like a proper what's up like conversation. Does anybody want to make
Yeah. So the second question about technical debt. I think technical debt is real, and when you find technical debt, and it's actually something that's very real right now for me, is what is the impact of not solving this problem in the long run, right? Because I'm here to launch products, I'm here to meet my deadline, But at the end of the day, I'm here to protect the customer experience. And if at the end of the day, I see that there's actually value in solving this problem from Google, it's my job to flag that for leadership, to say, hey, this is what's happening, this is what we need to get done. It's not sexy, but it is protecting us because these cars are going to fall. And then, I know developers hate working on tech content, but helping them to see that we need to get this done so that we can actually do the next thing that we want to do down the line. So when the opportunity comes, and if it's a decision that I feel like I cannot make on my own, I take it to my leadership and say, okay, here's the options that we're weighing. Here's what I've looked into. It's going to add X number of time to X number of weeks to our development time. But if we don't do it, this is what's going to happen. What do you think? I push to them. So a lot of times they push it back to you, and you're like, okay, if you're going to empower me to make this decision, I think we need to take it this way. But and one more thing that we do is documentation. So there's a trail of, okay, here's the decision that we're trying to make, so that even if you decide not to solve the tech content now, it's clear that that question was raised earlier. But I think that ultimately, as product managers, we shouldn't get too, caught up in like the shiny things and launching products. Really, the customer experience is important, and anything that's a red flag for the customer experience down the line is an opportunity to make that change before it becomes bigger down the road.
So here's what I'll say. In my experience, I think it comes down to ownership. If your product were a car and you were the product manager, so I mean you're responsible for the car, right? Of course, you want to, change the body and put some nice new rims and all that stuff, right? But if the engine has an issue, it's all window dressing. You can do all that nice fancy stuff, but you know that you are just pushing the problem further down the line. And sooner or later, your car will break down on service. And people will take your picture and put it on Instagram. That's with custom plates, why you can't work, So it ties in with what I was trying to say, which is if you see it as an us versus them, whereas I'm trying to do all the cool stuff and help the company meet their target, and you're just here telling me taking out there, it's like, what do you mean? Just can get out. But if you understand that ultimately, from an ownership perspective, you are really responsible, right? And then they are helping you by providing you with info and early warning signs, then you look at it a bit differently. So yes, you may not want to do it now because this new shiny feature is like, oh my God, I have to do it. But you have to understand that it's important and you have to do it anyway. What I feel woefully at doing is coming back to do it anyway, right? So the idea is, oh wow, this is really, this guy is going to break down. Actually, this translates to my personal life. I can't consider it, I need to change your tire, and like anytime he says, like you change that, and I just like, I want to say, I just came up with practical, and I have to find details that need. So, but the idea is acknowledge it and know that one day it's come back and bite you in the butt if you don't do it anyway. It's not like the engineers just want to frustrate you, unless they do. But like, if you look at it from the perspective of it is you, like you are responsible, then I feel like you allocate some time for it. So that's yes.
Hi, I'm Henry. I think everything has to be put in some sort of has to be about. And for me, I think putting money as different levels. And for me, I think the major thing including management is communication. And there's communication and leadership. I think more of communication because you just have to be able to articulate everything that you want to do. You need to be able to make people come around. You need to make people see your perspective. You need to be able to communicate because we're talking about coders and all of that. There are some coders that just naturally don't stand in the visionary box. They just just want to do this shit and there are some of them that are visionaries and think and all of that. So it's your job as a product manager to even those ones that want to be technicians, just want to be technicians, they don't want to see the other side. I think we still, our jobs to make them try as much as possible to make them see it And I think if the place where, for example, if you're recruiting and you're trying to make someone see the other side and you still want to be a technician, me personally, I would rather find another alternative rather than work with that person. If the person cannot see what you're seeing, then it makes life difficult because when things are going wrong, the only thing that can make that person come back in line is to remind him of what we saw at the beginning. When you remind the person of what we saw at the beginning, the person thinks straight. But if there's nothing the person saw at the beginning and you're trying to say, I'm just trying to get my paycheck and stuff like that. So I think it boils down to communicating at every single level.
Yeah. All right, let me add to what everyone has said. I think technical debt is a big issue as every organization has to face at one point or the other. There's something I tell them, I tell them that for you to be successful as a product manager, you most likely need to be a bit more technical manager. I also tell my developers, for you to be successful in this business as a developer, you need to be more business minded. Now, the average product manager is feature driven. You want to add this new feature, you want to add this new thing that your customer wants. But there's a lot of work, grunt work underneath that needs to be done. So, for example, 99% of product managers don't think about scale. Right? They just believe you do this product and products there, just run it. Right? But then, you talk to your technical guy and he tells you, for example, when we built it, the scope he gave me, we built it as a monolithic application, and now we need to build it into microservices. And if you don't understand those kind of things, you're like, guy, what are you talking about? It's actual work that needs to be done, right? So to solve that, I'm a big fan of having a holistic product roadmap where you're not the only one who is saying, let me add this feature. You should also, if you have a project team, for example, you should also want to ask the technical guy, what are the things that you want me to add, right? So if, for example, I'm going to use maybe a real life situation, right? So your business has said you want to make X amount of money this year, and for you to make that X amount of money, let's say it's 1,000% over what you did last year, right? Which means you need to add more users to the platform. You need to ask the technical guy, okay, I want to add this many more users to the platform. What do I need to do? I'm very sure there are a lot of things we need to do. Either they need to add, best case, they need to know more servers. Worst case, they will need to probably write in that application and be able to use microservices with scale. Right? So as a PM, don't just think about features. Think about things from the technician's perspective. Interact with them. And that's the only way you will get to gain their respect. When they know that you as a PM, you're also seeing things from their own perspective.
So I have a question. So I come from a technical background. I do more of a little of PM right now. So my question is this: as much as project managers want to get technically involved, like what's the point at which, like I'm a project manager and I need to be on the business side. At what point do I say no? I'm going too technical. Let me stay back on the business side. So I want to know, is that a point?
I think when you get to that point, you will know. So right now, I have that question.
Let me also add to that. I think the challenge we have when we structure like in Nigeria, so organizational structure is also very important. So if you look at the company that is successful, what you have is, product managers are not business people per se. They are people in sales. They are people in marketing. I hope you know that sales and marketing are not the same thing. Now, there's also product managers. Now, product managers product manager is the CEO of the product of the product. In an organization that succeeds, what you have is a product manager is like a cell. So you've got you've got the product managers or the product managers, right? And then you have technical people building for them. Actually, so you have this it's a cross-functional structure. So you may have a CTO, but the CTO is just responsible for the technology of the organization, set the standard, but the developers work for that. And every single day that actually will happen, what you have, when you run developers like a service, you can still go and put them in India. And that's the challenge. That is where you now have to beg a developer. So I will give you a better example. Where I was going to, when I was in UPA, like the technology get a frustrated if I used to go downstairs every morning to just swear. I would feel to get my gift. No, for real, I'm just swearing. For real, I wasn't joking. And the few ones that worked with me at that time, when I was there, I said, I won't forget you. And I told all of them. Because that's how, because when you're passionate about your goals, you can get to that level where you are thinking of should get to this man or something. So when I got to, for example, in fidelity, what I had was, I now ran an unusual group where at the end of the business, I had a technology team, I had a business team, and I had an operation team. Because all of them were reporting to me, right? You're all living and dying together, right? Everybody knew that there was nobody in technology that you dare not even try to scam anything because once those will come to report, right? Because I will let you know, we are all inside this thing together, right? We live and die together. If the pilot misbehaves, everybody dies in the plane. So there's no need to say, look, you know, I'm going to behave myself, let the pilot do whatever I want. No, it's a shared responsibility. Now, where the other piece out now, when you have to find your developers, is because of this struggle. Now, if you go to like this, like, I don't know about, but I know of Facebook, I know of Google, it's always like itself. All of them stay together so that the developers, they have nothing else to do. There's nothing like they give me another project. Every single project you have to do is there. Now, if the product group is big, then you may have to, the product director may be stopping you, but at least after all, is the overall PM. So that, and in that instance, when you see that naturally, if you're a technical person, because you'll be involved with the ideation and you add that trick, you know that this code I'm writing is going to be responsible for my bonus at the end of the day. Ultimately, you will graduate into that direction from technical to become a product manager, where you look at product features, you look at the impact in the market, you look at the money you bring, you look at your bonuses and what Ferrari wants to buy, and stuff like that. But only do you have people come from the other side to become developers. Now, some will end up thinking that they love just writing code. They don't want to become product manager, and there's nothing wrong with it. So those ones usually become like engineering goals that people watch. And what they do is they end up taking them out to think about the larger stuff. Now, when you talk about the technical debt, the one I wanted to add is the challenge with technical debt happens when you have the infrastructure for nobody is responsible. So people, it's like you have the road, it belongs to government, but you own your own car. So when potholes start showing up, you are the first to see that tiny bottle because it's not your road. Then traffic starts happening, and then so to solve that problem in your organization, the only thing you need to tell them, you need to appoint them to follow my dad for the infrastructure, and there has to be a way to measure the performance. Because sometimes technical debt is not because something was done wrong. Okay, so it's a skill issue, and to move from one skill to the other may be different. Because okay, this building is that many floors, 7 floors. The kind of foundation you do for this building is 7 floors. You can't say because you don't know whether you go in the future do a complex story of foundation. So it's not like the people that build this house didn't have brain, because ultimately, if this was an office for all of us, when we want to scale. And you see what the next scale will be, another 7-story tall building, something like that. That's something like probably $1 billion. You see the cost of scale. So when they now start pushing everybody, guys, are going to have smaller tables and the rest of it, that's the reality of the technical that you have to do. And when they're now going to fix that problem, like you said, 6 weeks to come back, they are not seeing any change because they are giving you foundation. As a product manager, you need to be smart enough, competent enough to know what they are doing, to appreciate it. Because when you also go there and you make them feel, because the guy is sleeping in the office trying to deal with converting monolithic to microservices, and you're making it feel like I think what are you doing? And what are you doing last week? Yeah, Peter's not changing, it's not faster. But the guy will just say you're an idiot, or he will know you're an idiot.
Thanks for that. Okay, so the next one I'll take is just, or I'll ask is, so it's a bunch of questions put together, but I'll frame it as, how do you deal with an environment where you're responsible for a product with no clear vision? There's an aspect of it that has to be managing stakeholders, which we talked about earlier, but basically you're in a UPM, for example, and they're like, this is your product congratulations. And it's like, okay, what were we thinking when we started managing this product? Nobody knows or cares to share. Where do we want to go? Nobody knows. So I interpret this to mean you are not ultimately responsible for product vision in the organization, but you are responsible for a product that has no clear vision. Like, what? Yes.
There's an advantage to that. You know, you're in a position to set that, and typically, if you get that opportunity, your career is about. So if you can, if I find myself in a place without clear vision, everybody just going to that aspect. But I can quickly rein the head in, say, short time. Everybody just has to depart. That's just how it works. And if you do succeed, you don't have to stay there long.
Just to add to that, you talked about ownership. And I think that's it, like there's an opportunity to show ownership, take ownership, set the vision, and then become the person that everybody goes, oh, you want to talk about that one, that's the person to go to. So it's an opportunity to show ownership.
Awesome. That was easy. Oh, yes.
High impact. What would happen if you have stakeholders who then challenge the vision? Like you said, you will get
So I would say that if you have a vision that no one is challenging, then you really have a vision as well to start with. Because these things we tend to grow into. So when you start, you are not really, you never know to start challenging. Right? So people challenge you. If you I want to tell my program manager, if you never try for a product, you will not start the work. That's the truth, because it's product management is like being a mother, father, boyfriend, sister, friend. Anytime if money is the only thing that drives you to become a PM, then you're wrong. Now, so when you come around the first time and you explain your vision, they say, what are you talking about? Like, does this thing make sense? You go back and refine it. It's like baptism through fire. But if you just survive it, then you become a better person. And what will happen is that when that product now, because sometimes when they sarcastically push you back, it makes you to take a critical look at what you said in the first instance. You don't see, I will be surprised how many times I'll say something and they will challenge me, and when I go back, I say, because see, you need to have that unity to be able to go back and say, was I clear? Because if you keep preaching a vision to someone and they don't understand it, the two things, either they are dumb, right? Or is it possible for everybody to be dumb, or you are not even seeing it clearly. So even if they are dumb, find there's no a book for that, a series for dummies. You can go and read how to show your vision for them. But ultimately, like Professor, if you find yourself in a place that's not defined, it's your chance to define that role, define that goal, and also define your own career.
So I think going back to what you said earlier about the CEO stuff, the product manager basically the new CEO.
Yeah.
For most product managers, you are a new CEO in your new company, right? In big organizations, sometimes you are a new CEO in a telecom, which is similar to what she said, where everything is fake and you're supposed to come and build the new vision and all that. Even if you are a CEO for a telecom company, the best vision you bring, everybody is also should be fighting you whether you are wrong or not. It goes back to the second part of that title. This management, the truth is if you are managing anything, even dogs, you are going to go through a lot of stress getting everybody to agree to that set culture. It's like the culture, right? To do the culture, whether you agree to the culture, then you can layer the vision and then do it.
I think on the selling the vision, I think another trick that I think has worked for me is to, I know for many of us as PMs, it takes time to think, you check the numbers, so you are very sure by the time you're coming out. At times that's not necessary. At times one trick that I've worked is actually go to people on a one-on-one basis and say, what do you think of, what do you think of, you do that with 10 people. When you then go back to the same time and say, based on that thing you told me that time, this is what I'm getting. It's a bit of their input too, but they are now part of the process. So to review the chance of them challenging the vision you come up with, don't internalize the work too much. Share it. But you get the benefit of collating it, but you still have to go back to them one-on-one again and say, based on that thing you told me, see what I feel. That way, even if they don't totally agree with everything, they participate in this. You cannot lie to them. You can say, oh, everything you said, I'm going to do it. But now you're part of it. I don't have a thought.
One of the things that I've learned is that when you get trapped, right, it's actually a gift. Because, like David says, you have to come back and refine what you have. As much pushback as you get, you accept it, not what you need, but you take it in and make it better. So at some point, right, you get to the point where you understand each of those stakeholders, what each of them is looking for, and you can show the value of the product that you're bringing to them. So that they can see the value. So if you're talking to the risk guy, for instance, you're showing him this is value, this is how you go to market gauge your risk. You're talking to the CTO, you're saying, see, if you do this, it's more efficient or something. You're speaking to the problem that they have. And you are also learning in that process.
Awesome. There's a question around, I wasn't sure if this would be a good one. It's just like prioritization, right? Now I know there are tools and frameworks and all kinds of things, but I guess people just generally want to know how to manage prioritizing all the nice ideas that you have, all the nice ideas that people stop you on the staircase to share with you, all the things you read on Twitter about how other companies are changing the world. And this assumes that you are responsible for prioritization. You cannot, but like assuming you are, how do you put all this together and determine what the best next thing to do is?
The first thing you ask yourself, what is important?
Everything. Everything important. You don't see those days where you say let's prioritize and everything's prioritized.
Because I'm pragmatic in my approach to doing this. I've faced this so many things. I was telling you about 2016, I was doing telephone. That was the program I was doing before that, and then I started work. Normally, I don't need my projects. I don't need to complain. Like I see me that left, yes, but I'm two projects. Now, but the reason was that I don't feel bad about it because I knew that the other people because all was I signed and the numbers were these products must be big. I need to push the product that will bring money to the place. When money is really in the deal, then I have a chance to get the other half. There's no money. It's nothing because my own kind of approach is not based on fancy guy and doing snazzy and speaking no. This thing has to bring money because that's going on show the money. So if you work in an organization, for example, that you have to bring the transaction count, for example, then you know that will be a priority. If you have bugs and people are scraping your head, that's priority 0, right? If you are looking for investor and you need to spray paint your products, right? Then you need to bring in the UI guys and the US guys to make everything. It depends on what is important. I think the challenge for most people is not the risk. It's not knowing what is important. That's the challenge. And that's beyond the list because some that is another list, they will still not know what is important. So knowing what is important. pace with different stuff.
Just to add, so I think with every PM we have this problem. But for me, how I solve it is to look at two things. There's importance. I mean, I want to call out urgency and impact. Something might be very important, but you have to impact. And in most cases, right, something that will have very high impact should be important. When you have something that can have an impact, I think it should be important. So looking at the impact could be in terms of revenue. For example, if you do this thing, I'm going to double or triple the revenue, or in terms of customer satisfaction. You add this new thing, customers are happy, and in terms of any metric you can think of, right? What impact is something that you should also consider the importance of it.
In terms of what you're saying about impact, because it's there's no black or white, there's no right answer, because impact also depends on where the company is in their own side. If we are trying to get off the ground so revenue is important, then revenue becomes the most impactful. Yeah. If maybe customer satisfaction will make sense, customer UX and all those kind of things becomes the high impact thing. You want to retain the customer, you want to make sure that the product is seamless and all of that. So it depends on where the company is at the time. So that's why I think what I wanted to say before we spoke was even as product managers, we should try to develop ourselves, try to understand the environment, understand where you are, understand where you are in relation to the vision of the company, understand where the company is at the time, because that will help you in making those decisions. Because one thing about what you said about you saw the next 100 you don't know what's up, because you just want to understand. If you understand, you make the right call. So emotional intelligence comes to play. So you just have to understand what's going on in the organization. If you're a new PM in an organization, you have to settle down before you start chatting at everybody. Understand and let everything sink in before you just go wasting bills and not check where everyone's going and stuff like that. So I think understanding will just help in making such decisions.
Yes.
One thing, just practically, one thing that I found out was I used to be a PM artifacts really help people kind of discuss the important things. So I think the time people mentioned, when you're trying to figure out what is important, where they are talking about. So first of all, now just take that list that you have, put on a spreadsheet, put on my phone. Once you put that in and you start doing stuff like t-shirt design, like, oh, I think this one will have high impact on this thing. First of all, write your entry for them, right? Based on what's least important. Once people have that artifact in their hands, they can now gauge whether, oh, actually, driving this metric is one of the things that's most important. And we can see that the impact on this particular metric is actually medium or small, or however it's decided that you want to do that. So the practical piece here, when it comes to actually doing this work, I think a lot of the things the practical said, you can establish by just having a really good spreadsheet.
I think the thing in that part. So, what if you work in an organization that has three business and a central product that all of them are responsible for driving? Give an example, say Alexa, somebody's job to sell hardware, so another person to sell the services on Alexa, right? And there are two people, and they are the product manager Alexa. What metrics will you draw? When you finish prioritizing, there's no way to swing in one direction or the other. Just like when you tell the next guy.
So
and they will have numbers.
Yeah, right. I'll tell you right. So on maps, we have people that are doing directions, we have people that are doing points of interest, we have people that are doing corridor structure, you have a huge swamp of things, right? One of the things for your organization, depending on your level, as someone like you, right, you have executives at levels that are supposed to make some of those calls to help the organization understand what the right outputs are. right? So when you have something like Alexa, the guy that is what you just described, that you have another person there that can
Have no option.
the product manager that has the power at that level, right? The things you just described, there's around 20, if you have around 20 of them product managers already to handle those things you talked about. So finding alignment, right, is something you have to do as an organization, but that artifact still helps. Because people get to see, hey, these are the things we're trying to do. These are the metrics that we come to, right, as an organization. You shortlisted it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people, and someone has to make the final call. And for us, we use the system with objective metrics, right? So every 3 months, every 3 months, we have to agree that these were the top metrics you care about, right? So that was the model we used. I guess the piece I was trying to say, I felt like a lot of people here are working with very difficult and complex organizations. But what I was trying to add is that practically having a spreadsheet that's designed the right way for people to be able to understand what are the things you care about, or what are the reasons you care about them, what are those things can really help push your prioritization exercise forward in an easy and productive way. In line with what you said, I want to ask the big problem with prioritizing is like you pointed out, the management and that's always system. You come at management. All management tells you the important thing, I will give a special. Which is how most of them do. But imagine the situation where management decides to do it. At the end of the day, from a product manager's position, that the management gave you one metric and you use the wrong, it's not really management. For instance, you are a small business, you need to scale. The important thing for scaling is revenue. But to actually drive revenue is not actually very easy. It's actually very easy architecture. So that's you can see that the thing that led to the key metrics is really involved. Yeah, be careful for this situation. Right, so something I said you need to scale revenue, go. Right, so your product manager, if you go by this and do your spreadsheet, they're going to give metrics that look like. But what you should have done is consumer retention, because the problem with that job, cost of acquiring new customer area, the actual organizing for you. When you are trying to scale, you have this sort of thing, you have a problem. For example, like the big problem with all this deciding what is the true metrics is that if you are, and this might not talk, I believe that as a product developer, like switch you from product manager to product developer. I find the most one-time person in any business or any business situation. A business developer job is to scale the business over time to survive the product developer is to allow it to work with a certain market at a certain specific period. It means that the entire job of what you do is picking the best move at that time, which is the key metrics. You can't wait for someone like talk. Your Alexa story, if you cannot figure out what is most important for Alexa at the time, irrespective of what those two people are crying about, right? You will fail. And Alexa will fail because she's fail, irrespective of what man went on that time. I think that's no you decide, you fail and succeed on your own goal. There's no metrics, there's no help. I can see you.
So, and this is a recommendation just me, and I'm not even sure design well, what I did, I found was almost always skewed to favor one key stakeholder over the other. Like there's just nothing I can do about it. There's no way I'm not a person who's satisfied. As much as I tried to say as an organization, these are our common goals. Like guys, this thing I'm doing will still benefit you. It just almost always appeared that team A was better off than team B because of healthcare, right? So I think my piece with it, there's some stakeholders that probably didn't very much, but there were some that did, and I milked that relationship as best as I could. I knew that if there was a room full of these stakeholders, that person would have my back, even though that other person would not. So I'm saying this because I don't have an answer, but this is what I did. And again, I'm not sure if it was good or bad, but it has, except, I mean, you're like utopia, where everybody just align your company and it's like, oh my God, we love each other so much. Oh, otherwise, you almost be in a position, you almost always be in a position where team A is annoyed and team B is happy because of you.
I think I'll actually add to that. I think even in politics or diplomacy, same thing. You take your I think now that you say that, I think that also you actually look at the landscape. Like, how is this guy? Look at this game. Zero this guy. When I responsible for this guy, but zero afterward, they will know that like but then, so that was it. I know 5 or 3 years. Then you lock in and make sure that guy does well. What I found work from was that after I was subconscious, after I think I took that approach, the other two wanted me taking it from this guy and make this guy responsible for me. Then they are there actually. I also know that to work with everybody. With the organizations where things like that.
There's one thing I add to that perspective, right? So there's a piece that you're thinking about yourself, product manager, your job security, your outcomes, person, and then there's the outcomes of your product overall, right? What people connect with the success, I think guys are talk about it today. So when people are upset or they're organization, if you made the right set of calls, like people say, and in 3 to 6 months, you can show that you're dealing with this metric, or the right metric was over that point of time. Give you a practical example. When Google Maps are in the direction of the selling, and it still is a brand for this market for us at least. Over time, we discovered that direction was commoditized, right? The ability to get from A to point B. There are a few different players that people use. So, right, so as an organization, we had to start thinking about what are the next set of things for us to do. But if we are trying to do everything at first, right, at the same time, or as a set of metrics, or people picked the stuff we're working on now instead of picking direction, never have made enough progress and had enough success to give us the buoyancy that we needed to be able to enter the other markets that we needed, right? So as a product manager, going like first of all, obviously, the first thing, you understand that your own personal outcomes are just very important. And broadly, the only important is your product is your success. So are you picking the right things to give your product long-term success, right? And that is a good, at least in my experience, that's a good way to understand what metrics you should pick over others at one particular point in time.
I mean, my perspective differs a bit because sometimes long-term sustainability is not the most important thing. Sometimes short-term revenue gains, sometimes GMV, trying to sell, exactly.
Okay, so if I may answer that, I think there are different stories in life, right? For those who survive, they don't have the correct. Because the proof that you're showing is successful. That's what I want to discuss. Right? They're not around there. Because it mentions something, when you talk about priorities, I said the list is on the top. Right? It's a competence as a product. Okay, today everybody talks about MVPs, right? Minimum viable product. And it's a thing everybody talks about right now. Somehow it's something, for me, I've practiced a lot of things only to figure out the correct thing for them to make at least like data warehousing, product management. I need more of those things. Same thing, priority. Okay, you need to take something to the market. First, you need something to even boost to keep your salary going. And something like, if you play games, I don't play games, but when you see all these power bars that keep going down, it must not run out before you get the next one. So, if you can't, it talks about Google Maps. Even if you go back and look at Gmail, go back and look at different products, they just come out with all the pictures. Because one, you don't have the money to do. Two, you don't even know if you don't even have enough feedback to know. So you start with something. You need to have the skill as a product manager. You need to have the skills to research, to crunch the numbers, visualize your stuff, go out there and ask your people what they want, and then you bring that first one out. If it works, you have for yourself, then you build on it. If it doesn't work, you have not gone the house, you have not tested the house, and then you go back. So when you talk about electoral, I don't want to answer for me, but I'm very sure that the guy that owns Alexa is not the one that was doing Apple Dot. Maybe the Apple Dot guy was going one way, and the guy that has the same, I'll make Alexa work on it. Goes ahead to the board to explain, and they say, create API, don't make it work that they can take that. That's power, because that guy's power to say, I want to win the world. So as a product manager, if you list or your list will never see the problem, because life is full of this every single time. You wake up in the morning, there are things you can do, but you can only do one thing that morning. If you don't have the skill and the confidence to decide, you stay with them enough and waste valuable time and effort, even deciding which one to do. He uses an Excel sheet to do it. For me, I don't use Excel sheet, but I sit down with my guy and say, okay, which one gives me more bang on the box? Straight. This one. And long time, we're going to run a long-term business. Ask Amazon, right? They will tell you your margin, my opportunity. For years, they didn't make money. For a year or two, around, all of them are dead now, and they will just find the work. You can learn from that. Wow.
I'm triggered. Okay, I think we'll just put a cap in it from the questions that were sent in earlier. So a huge hand for our panelists. Does anybody else? Finishing up. So does anybody have anything else to share? Any challenges you want to bring up in the house, or any questions? Yes.
So how do one go into product? Must you start afresh by studying or picking information, or do you move into it? Just think for
before you answer that, if I may, just humor me. So his question was, how do you break into product management, right? Oh my God, you're not my new boss, guy. So his question was, how do you break into product management, right? And then I was saying, just before anybody tries to answer, I want them to share what they were doing before they became product managers. Just like 30 seconds. What were you doing before you became a product manager?
I was an engineer, and I was annoyed that some other guy was talking about this.
What were you doing?
Sales?
What were you doing?
So 5 minutes.
Management consulting.
So nobody went to school to study product management, right? I think, okay, so for me, I was in charge of, we're doing developer support and operations. Anyway, so my managers came and said, oh, they want to do this new thing called product management. They've been reading about it online and they want to do it. I was like, okay, I mean, why is it me? They're like, oh, that they think I'll be able to do it, that comes. I was like, can I say, like, I don't want to. I generally didn't really like to take risks in my career and my job. Like, I already planned, okay, Remy will now be promoted, so we don't like, And then they said, well, you don't have a choice because we're scrapping your former role anyway. So I had to become a product manager. And I was saying that, I mean, for the first year. Anyway, so yeah. So between then and now, yes, I've taken a few certifications, which you need. But it just helps you, it helps boost your credibility. But it doesn't make you a PM. Like going to PM school doesn't make you a PM. I think it's just one of those things that you have to do it, So I don't, yeah. Anybody else has it?
I shared my story the last time I was in this. And I was basically thrown into it too. And I inherited all the products of this production. I had no clue about what I was going to do and how I was going to do it. But because I had, a lot of support from different people, I had a lot of, my network was a bit strong, so I could reach out to them and say, how to do this, what do you do, how can I do better? That was both internally and externally, but in all honesty, it was one of the toughest things I've ever done because I barely slept for the first few months of being a product manager. So, I mean, you just throw yourself into it, right? If you want to, if you find yourself in that position or you want to be part of this, there are a lot of materials that you can read up, learn from, and ask people around. I have someone in my office who says, Sarah, I want to be a product manager. And one of the things I've told her to do is come for, events like this. You listen to what other people are saying, you learn from other people, and then you pick it up little by little, and then you can all of a sudden become someone whose opinion is sought after one.
Was one of the things that I did starting my product management journey is that I looked for a product manager. And nobody's going to give you a product manager for example, you just happen to be in a situation where so you have to make your own product. I love product managers that come from background personally. So do your own product, get out there, launch something, get a customer, go through that experience, come through the pain. And then, in my mind, that's when you can now wrap up.
Yeah, I think Malcolm is close to me because what we're going to say was there's a mission mindset that needs to be, that you need to have. Well, apart from those that we're thrown into the habit of the attitude. Because for me, after doing project management, I realized that project management was not about the US, WBS, and Gantt charts and all that. It's about the mindset. If you don't have the mindset, those other things are just tools for you to use. But if you don't have that mindset, you will not effectively use those tools. You just do normal tests. Okay, you have to be a Gantt chart, how to do a milestone, how to do this and that. So what comes to communication and leadership? One of the first issues I had, in project management, the first direct work with coders. That was my first time, and I didn't know they were swindlers.
Wow.
Not saying that because they took away the money, but because they told me timelines and I did the timelines. That's something else my first time, right? I know that. So I had to learn through that pain to understand that, man, when they tell you to do the timeline, you need to see your outcome with that timeline and deep and strict everything with that timeline. So there's minimum things that nobody will. Well, you can be looking to teach you, but you just have to have that mindset and do that. You just have to push that.
Can I ask one question? Because this then starts to develop that product. I always try to ask that is product management an art or is it a science?
It's a mix, right? When you say A or B, so let's look at the scientific part of it. What is science? Science basically is if I screw with something and I get this, if somebody else screw with it, that's the only way you get it. Yeah. So that's science, it's just predictability. And the numbers and the formulas behind it can be measured. So there are certain things you do in product management that works everywhere. So things like approach to making sure that you break when you have a product, you break it down, you define what you want and the rest of it. Those ones go very well. Now, where the art portion comes out is, for example, stakeholder management, because all of them, all products have the same features, certain behaviors everywhere. Financial or what objective and the rest of them, they must all have. But because organizations are not the same, you discover that one, in one place, you have people that are really smart and good. So you are lucky to have awesome bosses, awesome executives, and they are supporting. They are even personally building you as a person. Enjoy that one, right? Because it's not common. But also a PM, you find yourself in an organization where people are useless, where you don't even have executive support. Why are you going to the society? Right? So basically, in those places, right, what makes you to survive becomes more subjective than objective. It's not going to be restricted because I can tell you what will work. For example, all the things that work for me when I was in fidelity and when I got to sales really work. So I have to adapt. My colleagues, I have to transform myself. So my boss, maybe they don't know, my boss came up was very miserable because all the formulas I knew couldn't work. They have to transform to something else. But I'm so happy about the things that transformed to because we have to get it. Now, that's on one side. Then you need to have a certain temperament to build the product. If you're a very arrogant person, your product management skill, right, career will not go for long. People will set out to fix you up. Unlike developers where you are, if you are the end, if you look at the network, if you are the type that is at one end where you don't develop, you depend on other people, then you don't have a problem. So for example, if you are like a developer, right? If you don't, people depend on you, but you don't depend on at least on the short term, yes, you don't depend on other people. So you can be an idiot, right? What will just happen to you that nobody, you will stay in that place or one in your fire, but most of them are not. Your punishment is usually like protected, right? But if you are a product manager that depend on people, you need to be sociable, you need to go out. You don't come out and don't do an network. Move anywhere because sometimes the solution to your problem is in the next conversation over the next year, right? Or the third year, right? You need to be nice to people because a lot of times people will help your growth succeed because you are nice to them 2 weeks ago. It's as nice as you are going downstairs, you see somebody while you're standing and going this way, you banter from the way to draw the person at home. That could be what will help your growth to succeed. And you also need to read. You need to read like your life depends on it because your life actually depends on it. So if you're a lazy person and don't read, we don't need to read to survive. But if you don't read, you can't survive in Colombia.
But sorry, David, why I asked the question is now from the perspective of someone trying to hire. So if you're sitting down here, you put an eye out and people do you look out for a systemic mindset or do you look out for a creative following person? Because typically they say it's rare to find people that carry both. It's quite rare. Now, but here you are sitting down, you are going to what degree should you be looking for the artistic mindset or the systemic mindset? You need both.
I will explain. Maybe almost. I don't explain something to you.
See, what problem are you trying to solve?
I'm trying to hire you.
We are trying to hire a product manager. That's the other thing I think folks should learn about product management. Is that unlike any discipline, you say you have a developer or a bricklayer or something, it's one thing. Product managers differ so drastically depending on whether I'm building a consumer tech product. The infrastructure guy that you were speaking to earlier, the mix of skill sets that you require as a product manager to go into those situations. At some organizations like Google, they like hiring generalists that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, the guy with the deep neural network background is a great fit for Google Brain and the AI work that kind of. Whereas that same guy might be terrible if you're trying to put him on the front end of places or the front end of photos. But even within the photos organization, it's great when you're trying to do stuff like computer vision and understanding those things. So depending on
let me I answer both of them. So what you answer you say, product management is almost the same, but they are domain expertise. So for example, I'm a doctor, I want to bring in, I want to build robots to do something. Yes, I need to know everything about medicine. I don't know anything about code, but I still need the basic project management, product and project management expert. Let me answer you. Because the companies also have to find successful business. Look, and you say, but every company has a product manager. I know one thing I'm looking for. One thing to be successful, see, you need to look at that reality.
The fact that you take someone and call him and print a business card for him doesn't mean that he's a perfect fit for you. This is what, okay, so I'm not going to call myself a demonstrative person, but I know that I have, if I talk about everything, the very way around us, I think also every single time. But people that also work with me also know that I can be annoying when it comes to sticking to standards. Because you know what though, is that when you use science and standard and compliance to deal with everything, you do not have so much time and effort, right, to be able to deal with the crazy things. Remove all the variables that you can manage. Sort those ones out. Make sure your documentation is okay. Make sure you've done your industry research. Make sure you've got all the approvals you require. When you make sure everything is done, when you do those things, then it means that you can have time to now do the hard and the fun things.
If I hear you right, you're saying when I sit down and put a contractors, I'm looking for a person that has both skills.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a very good person that can charm anyone.
Let me make it happen. Now we all run to different organizations. We're all looking for this guy. Is that not the unicorn? What all happens there was that we sign. Yeah, same way engineers as cars and are commanding a premium, even though they don't deserve it. PMC also gets to that point where we start to command a premium and don't deserve it.
Yes, and I will answer that.
Yeah, so your question is ultimately around talent, being able to recruit or find talent. Hiring is good, great product management is hard. This is like, and it's hard because we don't have the science behind it. I think the best thing you can do is ultimately look for that potential. I do agree 100% with Dave that is put in on just the art for the science side of it. The reason for that is because product is ultimately around people, and people are irrational. So you have to have the art to be able to engage, to figure out how to manage stakeholders, to understand customer needs, to build conflict, and so on and so forth. But part of the scientific part comes in because it's a relatively young, at least software product management before it's built. So just like when it comes to software development, back in the day we didn't have MVC frameworks. Now we have Ruby on Rails. Now we have Django. But back in the day, people had to build all that stuff on the ground. The same thing is true for product management. It is going to become more and more structured, and you'll be able to use life science effectively or systems maybe to leverage these tools. And how did you put it earlier? Like the trivial stuff, like the stuff that you can. The basic stuff, the systematic aspects will ultimately address the basic stuff. So it's a mix of both. You have to have people who can deal with systems thinking as well as people who can think from our perspective.
Sorry, one question. You hired a lot of product managers. What did you do?
That's why we used to fight a lot. So she came from an operational background. I'm a radical, naturally. And my thought was, really have to like yourself. But the manager should tell me, I like it on that. I have to do like yourself. You end up with this monotonous, everybody's doing the same thing. But so back then, Charles convinced me and said, why are you complaining about that? I didn't need meet people. And I used to be very angry with that.
Charles is complaining about me.
So I agree that these people brought in from operations are bringing their operations thinking into this thing we're trying to do. It needs to work. It doesn't need to work right, but correct it
So two things I issue, and for the product managers and for two things I issue. One is your passion. Are you passionate about it? Right? If you are passionate, then I will look at the next thing. You are passionate. So because both is you want to know. So because for example, for me, I didn't even know what a portfolio management until I've done about 3 years of product management. I didn't know that. I wasn't known. I was feeling superior, so I left a very great role in finance. Then when I was doing finance, practically we were practically working to go to a place where every single person that was hired on have been fired from even my own ED was begging me not to go. They jumped over. And I said, let's go and die, let's do. Right? So it's different. Now, passion and learning. Now, for me, I had a passion there. What helped me when I landed in that
19 countries, 50 plus products, 4 languages. I've never even done anything like that. I landed, right? I read. So people like Ollie Jones, she used to bring me a lot of books to read. Then you have Vimy, into switch, even up to EME standard. I read. Right? Then you have Shane Gallagher talking a lot. You have the Ify, right? Then you have then later you have Nana, right? Those are the people I learned from. Some of them are younger to me, but I learned and I read a lot. That's the so if you want to employ the rest, does he have passion in employing? Does he want to be? If we now learn how to know the scientific and the artistic portion of the knowledge.
I want to say, because I think the question,
I'm following from what you said. My name is Akona. How would you know you're interviewing someone who has come to a first position like this? How would you know just looking at the person that the person has passion? First impression. And by the time you get down to the real thing, you don't have to resolve.
Right? It's not like it's like, oh, get someone this high. No, sometimes we make mistakes, but you know those who are passionate. You will. For example, if anybody, I would hire anybody in this place because when I was giving the thing out, I give to a lot of people. But those who find it very important to learn, they will go out of their way on Saturday, enjoy the traffic, and want to see again. But if you think it's not worth it and you sit at home, you've already shown. So when you come to meet me, I will ask you, I don't have the questions in my head, but there are questions you can ask you that will show if you are passionate for that. I don't think that will be
I think the first question, I hear why most of the when you cannot, like you said, you have to fill the role when you have enough. You find ways to manage people. If I can find this one, accounting, I need how to create right now. I will try to teach you how to write more. I hope I get the best of it. But the actual question is, what is most important? If I am to go out and I should call it what's most important? I like to say, maybe because I come from a engineering background, and the best product managers are analytical. So engineers usually take that analytical. I like all that. Fundamentally, you like numbers, just what you are like, know numbers. So whether you're a finance person or there are two types of people that want to use community, who that likes to think out. And this is why you say the creative process. And it's not creative process in the active form of any drawing. It's in the creative process of I can find loopholes in the system. I can fix puzzles. So if you ask me, my first ever account on the they ask me what I like, I do am I like coding. And because that's what I have, I'm a product developer at that. I like coding. So you tell me an idea, you tell me a problem. What the very that comes to my mind is to fix that. It has nothing to do. Then if you on that path, right, I can find creative ways to do it. But there's an analytical process at the back. For me, because I'm an engineer, I prefer either engineers or finance. I like them because they are structured developers on the spot. That's what they're trained to do. But at the end of the day, people like those, people don't like those. There's no ways, there's no two ways.
I think we cannot agree that there's a place for both. Personally, I would hire creative thinking, passion, and execution bias, because being PM, you need to, like, your job is to get shit done, right? Like, so you can do that high over functional skills that can be learned, right? Some things are almost innate. So you can be the numbers guy, awesome, but like, you don't understand, you don't have that drive. Like, you're coming back to me, oh, I tried to do it, but I went there for technical.
Don't do it.
You know, so that's my perspective.
I think I was just trying to be controversial. But from what I've learned from what you just said, I think if you were running a prayer product, I think you need to start on the mindset of men like that to a lot of composition of the characters. So they are going to have to compose on artistic people and what do you call it, analytical people, and find a way to get them to grow up. So if you're saying for now it's more complete, I'm looking for a product manager. Go ahead and hire your first product with your bias. Your bias is talent, get that type. Your bias is for creativity, get that type. But bear in mind that you skill that small organization. You need to think more of composition so that what then happens is that you are behind people that can learn, like you said. The analytical guy will pick up on the creative guy will pick up. Then that will start to gain some light. For the PMs members to figure out that potential texts, improve. Originally started like always only get your type of person. But after they force your hand and say, no, take this operations person. No, take this or that type. You start to learn that you need to get them to sort of rub up on each other. Some of them will take a while. Some of them will quickly pick up on the next level. But think more of composition than
Okay. One more comment. And that's the end.
from the back.
So nobody had, did anybody have their hand up? Yeah, nobody. So it's just him. Oh, snap. Okay, two more. Then that's the end.
So question to the guys who make decisions. So you're a director of products, and you have a young product like that. You feel like maybe the first product, first try, or maybe the second. Do you fire? Now, if you retain, how do you help the person get better? Director of product, this question is very easy, right? Director of product and product manager, you need to have it. Yes. And that's the truth, right? So you have two options: fire, retain. For your product manager, you need to yourself. You have options too. Of course. But it does not mean that you not give that problem that you don't guidance. That's one thing. Why did you do? I think the why is he was outside the man's. So what I personally do is you need to understand what I'm because so as a director of this, your biggest job, right? They will tell you the capacity of planning. You don't expect an HR plan for one consultant to come and train your guys. How many hours? I'm about that. You need to be able to do that. And if, for example, you see certain weaknesses, you need to be able to come up with a development plan, don't need those weaknesses. And not just blame him, and say this guy and this person. But this way, of course.
Yeah, and then different types of failures, right? This person had overestimated and was really pushing for something big. And fell short of that goal. You will fire that person.
He may have even succeeded.
Yes.
Depends on the failure. It's that some people aren't really kind enough. Now, in that instance, I'll still ask myself, if it has shown good aptitude before, or maybe because of cockiness, right? He made a mistake, then I'll keep him because I know that failure will be a lesson for me. But if that failure actually shows that the guy is not really good, I'm going to find. I'll tell you this one. Like everybody knows me. I am very supportive, but I'm also critical as well. Yeah. The reason being that, see, when you have a team, you need to keep refining that team. I'm the next kind of person, right? You keep the best. That's true. I'm not saying go because you are bad. I'm not saying go because you're not being the best for me.
He's trying to do the rest of it.
Absolutely last question. That's the ending.
this was a question of we have to create first, right? This one I said that we guys are systems people. We good system, you are kind of systematic. So I think it's very difficult to find truly is where one of the find that they the phone that you created as being systems class. That's me and that I probably have sit down and so well I had a systems and I'm finding it get the systems person will be pure creative person. So I think this I'll put the problem together, post finding one person that's happening.
That means you're married to people. That's one Sorry, on the people that were talking about really, yeah, you have a recommendation, you have something you can go out and get started with right away. To be very frank, I don't have a computer, I really don't. So I don't have a software in my
Yes, there's one guy, so I'll send him. There's one guy who is speaking at his live store. Compile the list of all product management resources, those articles, the because the page is continuously growing. Can't grow. Any book that you any people you are looking for, it's giving his life story. Just keep. I'll get it.
So let me give you two, right? So one is a blog. It's called SP, it's called by Martin Kingan. So it's very, very good. The other one is Product Managers Guide, as well as Product Managers Survival Guide by Stephen Hines. And the Product Managers is very happy.
I would recommend the book that I asked you to go to. This is How to Crack the Piano for it. It's I think if you read enough time, you become a part of this guy, even if you're just getting started. It tells you about the different pieces of product line, but it also exposes you to how some of the big organizations that you talk about and the best in class, so to speak, what they look for when they're trying to hire.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, guys. This was fun. Just a couple of things before we head out. I mean, huge thanks to everybody that's here. It's just amazing. Like, I'm overwhelmed. So as soon as I finish talking, we're going to take a group photo. Chike is going to tell us how he's going to do that. I don't know what it will be, but like he'll direct us. And then also, I'm obligated to talk about Steam Space, which is where we are. It's a co-working space, and like lots of other nice things that you can find on their website. But like, I told them that all of you come and then you now come and pay to use this space. Please see Adeze, yeah, after this, just to make further inquiries and all those things. And then please don't leave here without knowing somebody. I've said it, the people beside you, don't look down on them, you don't know who they are. And that's why we are looking for work, or we are trying to break into PM roles. Like, just take advantage of the network. My dream is for everybody to be able to pick up the phone and reach out to somebody when you have any question or concern. So please don't leave here without getting to know somebody. There's like some stuff outside, just so you won't say that we didn't give it. I'm not going to it again, but it's not too much. And then I'll especially acknowledge the amazing thing just like thanks guys, that's the end. So picture.